Welcome to this very special presentation here on Headlines Today. I'm Akash Banerjee. He's one man who touches about 10 million lives every weekend. He's a man who's changed perhaps the way television works by making people glue in at about 11 in the morning every Sunday. Perhaps from the time of Ramayana and Mahabharata that was broadcast on TV years ago, people don't really have had that opportunity to glue onto the television sets. Obviously, over such crucial issues, that's never actually happened. Then why is it that Aamir Khan is again in the news? Why is it Aamir Khan is in news because of controversy? Well, because despite doing well, despite doing something that entertainers don't do, he has rubbed people the wrong way. We all know what happened when he talked about killing the girl child. Politicians in Rajasthan didn't take quite nicely to it. And now, of course, doctors and the Indian Medical Association is up in arms against Aamir Khan, because they say that he's actually gone ahead and cast aspersions over the entire medical fraternity. Is that so? And is Aamir Khan sticking by his guns? To answer those questions, Aamir Khan himself joins us here on Headlines Today. Aamir, appreciate you joining us, appreciate your taking time for us and really clarifying the air. Before we get down to the specifics, are you dealing with any issues as of now? Do you have any notices that have been stuck on your door?
Well, yeah, we have received a few notices, and this is something that we had expected when we set out. At the very outset, we knew that picking up issues like this will also include the fact that with every issue, there are certain people, the public at large is affected by these issues and wants a solution.
Yes.
But there are some people who are part of the problem. And every time we come up with an issue and explain to you what the problem is, those people who are part of the problem are not going to be happy by what we are doing. They prefer status quo, they prefer things to remain the way they are, because they are probably benefiting by it, by things remaining that way. So we were aware that people who are part of the problem will not appreciate what we are attempting to do. And so we were expecting this to happen. This is not something that I did not expect.
The Indian Medical Association, of course, uniting against you over this episode, and you're already telling us that those notices have been slapped on you. Are you losing sleep over it? Is there any change in plan? Because we understand Aamir has already said that he doesn't intend to apologize because he's done nothing wrong. But are you going to change the format so that you perhaps rub a few less people the wrong way, or are you continuing your way?
Well, no, there is absolutely no change in the way that we are formatting our program. The program remains as it is. So no change whatsoever. As far as the IMA is concerned, I just want to remind you that IMA is one of many associations. I believe,
yes,
if I'm not mistaken, there are 46 or 49 medical associations, and IMA is just one of them. So I do not want to assume that all doctors are part of that. In fact, a number of doctors have written to the IMA and have written to me saying that they are very happy with the episode, and in fact they wanted to congratulate me, and have gone so far as to say that what is shown in the show is accurate, and it is up to the medical profession to now to do a cleanup. In fact, Dr. K.K. Talwar, who is the head of MCI currently, and
yes,
who was on our show incidentally, and who had to face certain tough questions from me, in fact wrote to me after the show was telecast on healthcare, and congratulated me and said he really liked the episode. He said, I'm aware that some doctors are not happy with you, but I want you to know that me and Medical Council of India will do everything in our power to improve things. And he again put on record that it is up to us doctors to clean up the image of the medical profession.
In today's day and age, Aamir, where everybody takes offense very easily,
these kinds sorry, I'm just to conclude these kind of response from Dr. K.K. Talwar and other such responses from doctors really encourages us, because it makes us realize that actually the number of people who want to bring about a change, including in the medical profession, are much higher in number than the people who want a status quo.
So if IMA is just one of these bodies that represent the doctors, would you then say that the IMA is overreacting? Because these days it's habit perhaps in India, everybody overreacts to situations.
Well, I just want to clarify one thing, that each one is entitled to their response. I would like to respect and regard each response that we get for the show.
Okay.
And And I am not really so concerned with the IMA as such. I'm more concerned with the issue at large.
Yes.
When we talk of healthcare, that is what I'm concerned with. Is every Indian, poor or rich, getting the same kind of healthcare? No. Are there unethical practices happening in the medical profession to a very large degree? Yes. This is what our research has shown us. This is what has been reported by you guys in the media constantly over the years. Whether it's editorials, whether it's researches done on corruption in the medical profession.
Yes.
There are a number of papers that we have gone through before we've come up with this show. We have all that data available with us. And so what we are concerned with is not any one doctor or any one group of doctors.
Okay.
We are really concerned with the issue at large.
Okay,
Do
Aamir,
we
now
as
let's get to the
Indians want
specifics
a better healthcare system? Do we want to improve that? And that is what we are really concerned with.
Let's then get to the specifics. I mean, nobody perhaps doubts what Satyameva Jayate is trying to achieve, or you are trying to achieve, something that hasn't been done, something that is unprecedented. But obviously questions, Aamir, are being raised over the way this whole thing has been done. And we've spoken to a lot of doctors. Just to put this whole issue into context, I'd like to quote Dr. K.K. Agarwal when we spoke to him. He said, medical errors are bound to happen. Why blame the doctors? One particular aspect that is a little worrying is that you could have gone out and...
I just want to clarify.
Yes. Go ahead.
I want to answer that directly straight away, and that is that in my show I specifically say these very words, and I say that doctors are humans also, and they can also make mistakes. But today's episode is not about mistakes. Today's episode is about where the intent is in question. Now, and those are the only topics that that is the aspect we were looking at.
That's the controversial part, you know, the issue of Dr. Sridhar when he said that he didn't intend to kill anybody, but you had that whole episode where a kidney transplant went disastrously wrong and the person died. Now, can that be taken as something that was done with an intent to profit, that was done deliberately, or perhaps it was a case of a doctor with 25 years of unblemished medical experience, well, going wrong once?
Well, just to clarify to you, the hospital did not have a license to do a transplant for pancreas. So I don't know how you can explain that.
Okay. So,
and just to clarify once more, that our examples that we put on the show are indicative, which is why we do not want to target any specific hospital, we do not want to target any specific doctor, which is why we take care not to mention any doctor, not to mention any hospital, because our intention is not to attack any one doctor or any one hospital. That is not our intention at all. I personally believe that we are all part of the same society, and doctors are very much part of the same society. There is no difference between a doctor and me. We are all one. I consider ourselves one, and if there is something that I am doing wrong, I should try and correct it. I should try and only then will our society improve, our country improve. And if we all as a whole, as a society, want things to improve, then we have to look honestly at, and without without trying to hide that what are we doing. I'm questioning that. I'm not a judge, I'm not a jury which is passing judgment on anyone, and therefore we do not name any doctors, we do not name any hospitals.
But then it becomes very obvious, Aamir, that becomes, I understand that. You always make it a point to say that we are not here as a judge and jury, we just want to educate you, we just want to inform you. But sometimes these issues do become a little obvious when you're taking these names, when you're dealing with these cases. But you're sticking by your stand that there is absolutely no question of your research being half done. It is a completely well-researched show. There is no question of your research actually going wrong. This was a doctor who had erred.
I will not respond to specific instances. I can tell you that we have done a very extensive research. I don't want to say that we are never wrong, because we are human beings, we can also go wrong. But I'm very, very certain that our research is very, very thorough. And only after completely a thorough research do we proceed on any topic.
The reason, Aamir, I'm asking you this question is that many people wrote to us and they said that if such issues are being talked about, then you can also have the issues of what is happening in West Bengal, the crib deaths that are happening there, and the quacks that are operating. Sometimes your research is just picking up the cases that are out there, that are perhaps a little easy to get. Major Pankaj Rai's case is something that we all knew of. He's a person who's approached the media. He's a person who's approached various bodies. Is your show in-depth enough to go beyond the obvious, to go beyond the people who are already out there wanting to get their voice heard, and you will bring out those issues that we are not even aware of?
Actually, Akash, I just want to clarify that when we are bringing forward cases as examples, we are not ever claiming that these are cases that we have found and nobody else has found. So the fact that Pankaj Rai may have spoken to your channel and you may have reported about it is, we are totally comfortable with that. We are not trying to find new cases. That's not our intent at all. We are not trying to say that we want to be one up on the media. That is not our intent. In fact, we are using the work that you may have already done in the past as research.
Yes.
Our idea is not to frame current affairs stories and incidents.
Yes.
We are using incidents that you may have found for us earlier in the last few years as indicators to explain a problem. And we are trying to get to the root of it. We are trying to get to the bottom of it.
You've done that.
Just to clarify once again, that is our attempt.
Yes. You've done that, and you've broadcast absolutely sting operations that have been broadcast by news channels, and you've been absolutely transparent in giving credit to the reporters who had broadcast the killing of the girl child investigation. I appreciate that. But, you know, I think why the doctors are really angry with you this time around, and I'd like to quote Dr. N.N. Khanna, why make sweeping statements? This is causing distrust between patients and doctors. Would you like to use this forum and clarify what was your stand? Was it against a large-scale practice? Are you looking at very limited people who are doing this? Who are you against and who are you speaking against?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that in my show, I have said a number of times on our show, this has been clarified that all doctors are not like that. I myself have said that very, very categorically, that all doctors are not indulging in unethical practices. And there are a lot of doctors who are extremely committed to the health of their patients.
Yes.
And we salute such doctors. So that is a statement I made on my show. Thereafter, I don't see why any doctor should have a problem, because if you're a doctor who I'm saluting and who's doing great work, you should be happy about it. If you're a doctor, on the other hand, who is in fact indulging in unethical practices, then perhaps you might have reason to be upset.
Okay. We were speaking to Dr. Wali. He's a very renowned cardiologist from RML Hospital. He was saying that he agrees with you, but by showing such anomalies, and he said some of the cases are anomalies, the show is becoming a little bit one-sided. Are you saying that there was enough defense? You know, in media also, whenever we now put our story, we have to get a clarification. Is that clarification balanced, Aamir?
See, the question of us shedding a bad light on the medical profession is not true, because actually we have not insulted the medical profession whatsoever. If at all, if anybody has indulged in insulting the medical profession, it is those doctors who have indulged in unethical practices.
Okay. And one final question that I want to take from Dr. Rai. Are you misleading the masses? And you can understand, Aamir, there is a little bit of disquiet amongst the doctors.
We are not.
Are you misleading the masses with the show? Have you spoiled the patient-doctor relationship? You know, people believe you, Aamir. People believe you with their eyes closed.
Relationship. Yeah. Akash, let me tell you that almost every family in India will have a story to tell you.
Yes.
You can check in your own family. Almost every family in India will have a story to tell you. So let me just clarify that the patient and doctor relationship was what it was. I don't think we have brought about any change in it. We have just expressed what is happening in society, and it is happening to an alarming level. We have a lot of material with us. I can, if you like, send some emails to you which will satisfy you as a journalist, so that so that you are convinced that in fact our research was very extensive.
Okay, Aamir, final question then. You've stuck by your guns. You have your facts in place. You're saying your research is absolutely right. As far as human beings is concerned, obviously one can go wrong here or there, but nobody can point errors here as far as the cases that have been pointed out here. Then do we see in the next few episodes, you take this hard line forward, you keep us informing, and would you be worried about any more negative sentiments? Are your lawyers ready for a battery of other notices piling up on your doorstep?
As I said earlier, we were expecting people who are part of various problems to not be happy with what we are doing. So that is something I've already answered and told you about.
Yes.
As far as we are concerned, we are actually, I don't consider what we are doing as hardline. What we are just trying to be is simple and honest. And we are stating things as they are without trying to over dramatize them. For example, if you notice in the case of healthcare, the unethical medical practices was one aspect of the issue, but we went deeper than that, and we tried to say that what the root cause, as we understand it in our research, is two factors. One is that we as a society are not perhaps giving enough value to healthcare, and that is indicated by the fact that only 1.4% of our GDP is spent on healthcare.
Absolutely.
Now this also points a finger to perhaps the people in charge of deciding how much is spent on what. So we are also clarifying and pointing that out. We are also going one step further to point out that there is what is called generic medicines available to us.
Yes.
Now generic medicines really are medicines which are known by their salt name or their chemical name, and when you put a brand name on it, the cost rises dramatically. The difference between the cost of a branded medicine and a generic medicine is 1/10th, 1/20th, 1/30th, even as much as 1/50th. Now, I want to clarify here that there is absolutely no difference in quality.
Okay.
So there may be a brand name on it and there may not be a brand name on it.
Okay.
And if there is any question about the quality of a generic medicine or a branded medicine, for that there is a organization, the Drug and Food Administration Organization, which is supposed to look into how effective a drug is, whether it is branded or not, whether it is generic or branded, if you know what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
So therefore that is the job of that body to ensure that the medication provided to us is in fact safe and good for us. Now outside of that, whether it is generic or whether it is branded, the difference in cost is huge. So in our show we try to point out that we can actually revolutionize healthcare by simply making these generic medicines available to people, because there are a lot of people right now who are not able to buy any medication whatsoever because they're not able to afford these high prices.
Aamir,
whereas
speaking to you,
sorry,
I can honestly say that it's difficult to figure out who am I speaking to. Am I speaking to a movie star, or am I speaking to a social activist who actually has thoroughly studied and examined every aspect of the case that he is actually going on and airing? Completely running out of time here, Aamir.
Akash, you're speaking to a
yeah, go ahead.
Akash, you're speaking to a person who feels very close to the people of the society, and like other people in our country who feel very emotionally close to their country and to the people of the country. I am also one of them, and I'm trying to do what I think, along with my team, what we can do to improve things for each other.
All right, appreciate you taking time out for us here on Headlines Today. Completely running out of time. Hopefully, the show will continue. The notices will pile on, but at least the people would be informed of what is going on, what is right and what is wrong. Few people might be rubbed the wrong way, but that's part of life. Aamir Khan, appreciate you joining us here on Headlines Today.
Thank you, Akash.